Ingeteam Power Technology. Power Grid Automation. Tutorials. Topic: DA Measurement Simulator. In this video we will learn how to use the measurement simulator for the Ingepack DA IEDs, mostly PT1, PT4 and PT5, which is included in the Energy Factory Suite tool. In order to access the simulator, we will first need to open the POC Factory application and select one of the DA IEDs in the installation. We will establish an FTP connection when the application opens. Once POC Factory is fully loaded, we may access the measurement simulator from the Tools drop-down menu in the toolbar, in the Simulation tag, with the Sequences option. Then, a new window will pop up, which will let us establish an FTP connection to the IED whose measurements will be simulated. Now, we can start configuring the simulation by firstly saving and assigning a name to it. Afterwards, we will proceed by including a simulation step to the sequence by clicking on the Add Step tag with a green cross located at the top left corner of the window. Each step will be represented with the following table-ish format. On the top side of the table, the parameters regarding the duration of the step will be assigned, the maximum duration of the step in milliseconds, or a digital signal in the IEC 61850 model whose trigger will make the sequence move to the next step. Then, in the blue cells, the module and phase of the measurements and the frequency of them for the step will be assigned. Below the blue table, the parameters for the frequency change rate both before and after the breaker can be set. Next, in the Signal Changes table, the change of value of some digital signals can also be simulated. In addition to the triggering time during the step, this will be set to an on or off status depending on whether the checkbox has been selected or not. Lastly, in the Signals to Record table, the digital signals to be included in an oscillography related to the simulation may be selected. These signals can be imported from those configured in the RDRE logical node for oscillography configuration, or manually included. Now, let's configure a simulation sequence in order to get a better understanding on how these work. The first step in the sequence will be 1000 milliseconds long, with no triggering signal. Additionally, all voltages before and after the breaker will have a secondary value of 5 volts. The current through the breaker will be configured to have a secondary value of 1 amp. All voltages and currents will be balanced. The frequency will be set at 50 Hz. Lastly, the first digital input will be activated at the 100th millisecond of the step. Regarding the oscillography, the instant overcurrent trip for the 3 phases and the first digital input will be recorded. For the second step, the voltage values will be kept the same. Nonetheless, the currents will be set for a higher value, a value which will exceed the threshold set for the instant overcurrent protection. All the magnitudes will be balanced, like in the previous step. In addition to the 1000 milliseconds constraint, the sequence will move on to the next step when the instant overcurrent of the 3 phases signal triggers. In the second step, no digital signals will be simulated. However, the same signals will be recorded for the oscillography. The third and last step, which will be half a second long at most, will have the same voltage and current values as the first one. Its oscillography signals will also be the instant overcurrent of the 3 phases and the first digital input. Once the sequence has been configured, we will launch the simulation to the IED by clicking on the Start button in the middle of the Windows toolbar. During the simulation, some of the buttons in the window will be disabled. After the simulation, these buttons and tags will be enabled, and the results of the simulation will be available in the Result button with an oscillography icon. This button will lead us to the oscillography viewer, the ComTrade viewer window, where the simulated sequence and the fault caused by it shall be carefully analyzed. Finally, we now know how to use the measurement simulator for the Ingepack DA IEDs, which is included in the Energy Factory Suite tool.
Ingeteam, electrifying a sustainable future.